It's like getting serious about understanding that once you acquire patient Susie, you've got to not only help her get better, but you got to like make sure that everything you now provide to her afterwards is so compelling to her, so useful to her, that regardless of whether or not she has healthcare coverage for that, she's going to want to pay for it.
A huge part of my why, I'm going to inject this story seemingly out of nowhere here, is my dad passing away at a very young age due to medical negligence over the course of decades with type 2 diabetes and heart disease. How this cross sections with what you just shared about the sheer size of the problem, right? That's what VCs love. Like, show me the problem, show me this problem, the size of the problem, show me the size of the market. You know what trumps MSK? Chronic disease.
Fair. Yeah.
Do you know what is the gatekeeper to chronic disease? MSK. No.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. I've heard this. Yes.
What phrase I say all the time is that musculoskeletal injuries are the gateway drug to chronic disease. And what's really interesting is that right around the same cross section, when people start getting more degenerative MSK issues or become a bit more prone to injuries and end up finding themselves in physical therapy clinics, is exactly the same time where pre-diabetes, the phase of life of pre-diabetes, pre-hypertension. And do you know what still today the standard treatment is when somebody gets diagnosed with pre-diabetes or pre-hypertension?
What is it?
A pamphlet that outlines the lifestyle behavior change in quotes or to change. And if you don't improve in 6 months, come back and we're going to start the meds. And what part here, I'm going to loop this all together. Ready? I believe that the future of the MSK field is creating time leveraged back-end revenue streams that directly intervene upon the chronic diseases that are actually the main dragging down of the US economy as it relates to healthcare spending, and is currently completely out of control with no end in sight. And I believe that if we were to help more clinics insert, let's just call it health, wellness, fitness, coaching revenue streams on the back end, or in addition to the front end services, that we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to finally fix the business model that is so time dependent that it is very hard to become profitable. So we time leverage, and all of a sudden we create some space in the profit margins. With that space, we pull the founder out to start working on the business, not in the business. Cliche, because it's true. And so few clinicians ever get that privilege to work on their business. So the key is, without having to blow up the front end of your business, because a lot of times when insurance-based owners hear me, they're like, well, I'm running on 10% margins right now. I can't take the risk of doing anything risky on the front end. You don't have to. Let's position this on the back end, because you're just letting your clients discharge away. It is ridiculous that you didn't finish your 3 out of 6 visits. That's what we're talking about. That's the business basics. You should have finished your 3 out of 6 and then stayed on. And it sounds like your particular clinician has some interest in run coaching or some sort of fitness that, pitched the right way, you would have been on a monthly recurring revenue, some sort of product.
Probably, yeah.
And now you stay in the ecosystem. And now not only in the ecosystem, you get reactivated to the primary revenue streams more often in a meaningful way, not in a dependency way.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we generally call the flywheel model. You're not just like bringing a patient in and then like churning them, or like even in the e-commerce world, right? Everybody in the e-commerce world knows that if you acquire a customer and get them to buy something for you from the first time, that's cool, but it's a bloodbath at that point, because you got to constantly keep acquiring new customers. So really what you got to do is think about it from a flywheel standpoint. What is the initial reason that somebody buys? And then how do we then make sure that we're adding so much value or products or whatever that they want to replenish or get more from us?
If you'd like to learn more about Strata PT and see how our EMR and RCM works, head over to stratapt.com to book a demo.